Former Huddersfield Town goalkeeper Matt Glennon has given an insight on the Terriers, who travel to King Power Stadium to face Leicester City on New Year's Day. Leicester City face Huddersfield Town on New Year's Day. The Sky Bet Championship game has a 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time kickoff at King Power Stadium. Enzo Maresca's Foxes beat Cardiff City 2-0 last time out. Huddersfield lost 2-1 to Middlesborough a few days ago at John Smith Stadium. The Foxes saw out 2023 with a convincing 2-0 display against Cardiff City just days ago, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and a rocket from James Justin making the difference in South Wales, as Enzo Maresca's side claimed 20 wins in the Sky Bet Championship before the turn of the new year. Meanwhile, Huddersfield have found their progress to be stalled, beating Blackburn Rovers 3-0 before most recently losing out 2-1 to Middlesbrough at John Smith Stadium. Currently one space above the relegation zone, the Terriers will be hoping for points to gain space between them and the drop. "It's been a tough watch," Glennon admitted. "We potentially should have got something from Leicester and Ipswich Town earlier in the season, but since then, and since Darren Moore has come in, there's been a lot of inconsistent play. Some of the championship teams I've watched this season haven't been great, but then there's been some quality moments, but not enough of them unfortunately. We've had a lot of injuries, and sometimes our game has worsened because of the opponent. We had Sheffield Wednesday come to town and it was a terrible match. Change of management and changes of playing styles have had an impact. There's been difference between Moore and Neil Warnock, and players haven't been in top form. Current manager Moore won promotion with Sheffield Wednesday to the championship before moving to Huddersfield in September of this year, but has so far only won twice in his first 16 games, drawing on 8 occasions. I do feel that Huddersfield will come back and have a run at some point," the former goalkeeper continued. "We've got a few players coming back into the squad, and I expect them to strengthen in January with a couple of players. The chairman has said he's coming over from America for the entirety of the transfer window, so I expect better performances and for Leicester to have more of a challenge on their hands than they have done in recent weeks. At the minute, we've seen quite a lot of counter-attacking play, with not a lot of the football. You're talking in the low 20% for possession, but then trying to hit teams on the break. But Moore says that's because of a lack in certain positions that he requires to play the attacking style he wants. Leicester have won 8 of their last 12 encounters with the Terriers and met on New Year's Day 6 years ago when the two sides were in the Premier League, City coming out 3-0 victors back then as Riyad Mahrez, Islam Slimani, and Mark Albrighton all scored second-half goals. More recently, the Foxes dispatched Huddersfield 1-0 in the reverse fixture back in August, as a single goal from Steffi Mavididi ensured all 3 points for Enzo Maresca's Leicester. Although Glennon admits they might not be up and running come the first day of 2024, he is hopeful that better things are to come of his former side. He added, "After the window shuts, and once players have returned from injury, we're expecting to see much more attacking and promising football on show, but at the minute, I feel the plan against Leicester is to sit back and soak up pressure. It wasn't a great game last time we faced Leicester on New Year's Day, but it depends on the players, who's fit, and there's only a few games left now for some of these players to impress before potentially getting replaced. This game will be an indicator. They're coming to a quality stadium, and they've got to embrace the challenge, because the championship is a nuts league, where anyone could beat anyone. They'll come with a little bit of hope, but expectations of a tough afternoon."